Welcome to On the Edge with JP Devine from Central Maine Sunday. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for listening and supporting local journalism in Central Maine. Now here's JP Devine.
100, you say? George and Ira Gershwin, when composing Porgy and Bess, gave octogenarians hope when they wrote, Methuselah lived 900 years, but who calls that living when no gal will give in to no man what's 900 years? Well, I wonder how gals feel about 100-year-old dudes. I just read Teddy Amenabar's article in the Washington Post that says there's a lot of centenarians, 593,000 in fact around the world. And by 2050, he says, there will be 3.7 million. So that's why they're building those new apartments down on Temple and Front Street. Smart move. How does this happen? Genes and Diety says, my mother's people, the Conlins, lived deeply into their 90s. The Conlins came from Ireland, where a diet of lamb, potatoes, and whiskey was on the menu. Amenabar's article gives us some examples, mostly dead people who can't verify, like Sister Andre, a French Catholic nun who at the time was the oldest living person, died recently at 118. Well, I presume the good sister lived most of her life in a convent. I grew up with nuns in a convent just across the street. On occasion, I ate lunch with them. Mostly, the convent nuns ate soup. Good soup, chicken noodle, pea soup, and something called gumbo that was made by their southern black cook. I learned this when I was in high school, when I asked what gumbo was. The next night, in the middle of one of St. Louis's famous heat spells, my mother made gumbo for me. Now I know why Mom lived 93. Amenabar wrote about Maria Brañas Morera, a 115-year-old Spanish woman born in America. Okay, I'm betting that Maria grew up on good Mexican food like tamales, enchiladas, tostadas, and tacos that I lived on in my early career. And look at me! I speak here about Jose, our L.A. gardener, who, on the side, ran Levi's to Guatemala in the middle of one of the revolutions. Jose, who was a healthy 95-year-old at that time, bragged about eating 16 tacos a day. Oh, I know he was still taking those Levi's down to Guatemala in his bullet-holed van when we left for Maine 9 years later. There you go. Amenabar names 115-year-old Fusa Tatsumi, who lives in Osaka, Japan. Fusa reminds me of the very old monks who, as I've written about many times, lived in their garden temple down the street from me. Now, these very old guys taught me how to cut up vegetables and introduced me to soba noodles and tea. I learned to love Japanese food and still do. That's why I had to wait in line with so many Osaka folks in Japanese soba cafes. I'm just saying. That was 71 years ago, and I wouldn't be surprised to know they're still alive. I know I am. Well, I'm on my way, dragging my feet all the way to that number of centenarians. So pass the tamales, guacamole, and sushi. Sayonara.
Thanks for listening to On the Edge with JP Devine. On the Edge with JP Devine audio is made possible by our subscribers like you. Thank you for supporting local journalism in Central Maine.